How can we make that decision to sleep with somebody for the first time in a really empowered, strong way?
Yeah, so how can we make it in a strong way? I have two protective principles in my Neuroscience of Dating book. One is don't make yourself financially vulnerable, and the second is don't make yourself sexually vulnerable. And so we're really talking about number two. So I would say, in terms of that context, people need to have an idea in their head ahead of time. Think about thinking, which is your higher brain function, of what would make them sexually vulnerable. What about that sexual moment is just right, that Goldilocks just right, and what is too far? So I think part of it is that we don't think ahead of time, and we're not really sure about our desire, and if the guy is good looking enough or the situation is just right enough, we might decide we want to have sex, but we're not really sure. And then what happens when we get really turned on is that part of our brain that thinks about thinking, it totally goes offline. So again, you really want to think about these things ahead of time. So making sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, I would say, and that is a very personal thing. But bad reasons would be like if you're lonely, or if you want to be wanted. And sometimes, again, when we're talking about the voices in our head, that can come from a very long time ago. And we just want to make sure that we're making just what you were talking about at the beginning of this call. We want to make those choices from a really empowered, secure place inside ourselves, not out of fear, which is more in the limbic brain. So to kind of summarize my advice, I would say there's kind of two different ways we can come from. We can come from the more primitive brain, which is fear, or we can think about thinking, we can use the prefrontal cortex, and we can come from curiosity. So I would say treat the moment with curiosity and have done some thinking about thinking, and know what's right for you ahead of time and what you're okay to do and what you're not okay to do.